Morning, everybody. So we're just waiting for a few more people to come on. Also waiting for Kerry to join us, um, and that should be in the next minute or two. So I'm just going to take myself off camera and just what I suggest you do is in the next minute or two, if you could get yourself a nice drink of a hot drink, preferably. But if you're not able to get a hot drink, a glass of water, something, and also just perhaps if you are at home, a blanket and something comfortable, but not too comfortable that you can fall asleep. I'll first hand over to Kerry, who will tell us about how last week went and perhaps what next week she's going to be doing, and then she'll hand back to me.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on a Monday morning. So if you missed last week, what we did last week was we did some gentle chair yoga movements, which is really just about, getting your body moving and helping the energy move through your body in the morning. And that was really a warm up for a breathing technique that we learned. The technique we learned last week was a 3-part breath, which is really just focusing on using our entire lungs. So if you missed it, what I've actually done with the last 2 sessions, I've taken these recordings and I've put them on Byte. There's a playlist on Byte, and we'll keep adding them on there. So if you miss them, or if you want to repeat them at any point, then you'll be able to find them on Byte. So next week I'm going to continue on from that, and we'll continue working with the same breath, but we're going to start to elongate it and just start to become aware of how that feels. So that's what I'll be doing with you next week, and I'll maybe share some more information on Yama. But I'm excited this morning to go through another one of Darren's lovely meditations. So I'll maybe hand you back over and we can chat a little bit at the end. Right.
Thanks, Kerry. And also, I really enjoyed last week's. I'd never done chair yoga, and for me, it took my breathing to another place and just opened all my diaphragm up and actually just helped me realize just how important it is to just move a little bit sometimes and just move in a really controlled way, which actually makes you think about your body and how it sort of interacts with your brain and always do things, don't we, instinctively. Yeah. When you actually have to think about just doing simple movements, it's amazing what an effect it can have. So I'm looking forward to next week as well, Kerry.
Oh, great. Thank you. Good.
Okay, so I guess this morning we want to. Last meditation we had was a counting of the breath, and we're going to continue with that this morning. Just because I think to have anything sort of to get better at something, or in fact to enjoy something more, you need to do it a few times, and then in a few weeks' time, or maybe next week, we'll see how today goes. I'm going to introduce another style of meditation. But as I said, today we're going to stay with the counting of breath, just because one or two people said how much they found it beneficial. And this morning and last night, actually, I thought about, what sort of theme could I have this morning? And actually, it just came to me really, really simply when I was reading a book about something. So quicksand. And quicksand is a weird substance, isn't it? But it's a little bit like life, really. And when we've got a challenging time, perhaps, or maybe when we're just so busy, everything comes at us at once. And what we tend to do is a bit like quicksand, is we kind of panic and we thrash around. Oh my God, I better do this, I better do a bit of that, better do it. And before you know it, we're not doing anything other than probably getting pulled in more and more by the busyness of it all. And I don't know if you know anything about quicksand, but from the films I've seen and from the survival stuff I've seen, it's all about remaining calm, breathing slowly, and looking for reefs or anything which you can grab a hold of to gently pull yourself out of it. And again, this is a little bit like how what we do when we're really, really busy and when we thrash around, we don't seem to get anywhere quick. How many times have you got to the end of the day and you think, you know what, I've not stopped all day and don't seem to have got anywhere whatsoever. I know I've said that many times. And so sometimes it's better just to actually Right, let's be calm. Let's breathe. Remember to breathe. What's important? What can wait? What actually needs doing at all? So back to the quicksand analogy. If you was to continue to thrash, you would probably get pulled in. But by stopping, breathing, and thinking about what action is going to give you the most benefit to get out of that situation, or to make you less busy, or to clear your diary, or whatever that is, or just to deal with what life's thrown, it's probably better to think about the most positive actions I can do. And in weeks to come, I want to talk about something called positive emotions, but we'll do that in a few weeks. But meditation is certainly something which can help us climb out of the quicksand on very busy days. It's also something you can use to just enjoy having a great day. That's the beauty about meditation. It's something which really, really helps you aware of where you are right now, where you are today, and aware of the benefits of positive behaviors or skillful behaviors or great behaviors, whichever you want to call it. Okay, so I've lit my candle, my tea light. I spoke about that last week. Really good to have a tea light if you've got one anywhere, and just light it. A light is something which helps you just perhaps think about some great stuff for your family, your loved ones, etc. I do anyway, particularly. And I've got my incense burning, which is great because I don't know about you, but smells trigger certain emotions in me and certain things in me. So when I light an incense, it tells my body, actually, this is time for meditation now, and this is time to sort of relax and just get in the moment and appreciate the world around me, and also appreciate the way I'm feeling today. Okay, so what I want you to do is, all your cameras are off, which is great, is I want you to make sure that you have a drink to hand, perhaps for afterwards, if possible. And I want you just now to start to think about just turning the volume down around you. And that includes any of your media stuff, any of your phones. You know, just put them on mute, put them in another room, put them in a suitcase at the bottom of a well, whatever it takes, just to silence that little bit of noise. We're going to do 20 minutes at tops. And we're just going to think about how we're feeling today. It's a Monday morning. We've got another great week ahead of us. What do we want to do with it? Well, let's not worry about that much right now. Let's worry about how we're just feeling and then becoming aware of the world around us. So I'd like you now to remember, also, sorry, one thing I forgot to add is this will come in 4 stages, and as we go through the stages, you'll hear a little ping. And that's just to tell you that we're going into the next stage of the meditation. Okay, so if you could all just be seated, sitting on your sitting bones with your feet firmly placed on the floor, with your eyes gently just starting to close, so that you're in that place in between darkness and you can see the light around you as well at the same time. So we're not asking you to squeeze your eyes tight, just gently close your eyes so that they're rested. I want you to think about your feet firmly placed on the floor and your legs, which move and walk and take you through this world. Your sitting bones, where you sat, the weight of your body is now completely suspended, supported by where you're sat. Running up your spine, supports your neck and your head. And your mind, which generates so many emotions, so many thoughts, sends messages all around your body. I want you to think about your breathing. I just want you to breathe as normal. If anything, If you feel that you are breathing a little bit too quick or quicker than normal, just consciously count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, until you feel that breath come down a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is each time that you breathe out at your own pace, I just want you to count 1. And then the next breath out, counting 2, and we're going to go to 10. And once you get to number 10, you just start back at number 1 again. So essentially it's 10 breaths, counting 1 to 10 and starting back at number 1. And each time you're breathing out, counting. And the reason we're doing that, just as we're breathing out, I want you to be aware of taking any thoughts which aren't helping you right now or any emotions, just try and breathing them away. And ultimately, by counting, it just helps us slow our breath to a really manageable level, but normal as well. And I want you to start to turn the noise around. You're down now, and just listen to your breath as you count. So breathing in normally and out normally, just counting to 10 on each breath out. Your feet firmly on the floor, sat upright, but not uncomfortable, just nice and supported. Okay, we're just going to count on the breath out for the next few minutes now. As you do this, start to become aware of how we're feeling today. Once you realize perhaps how you're feeling and you become more aware of it, think about those positive actions which will help either maintain your happiness or help get to more happiness. So we're just going to breathe out and in, counting on the breath out. So listening to our breath as we count out. Just try to be aware also, is your breath even? Does it feel even? And on the breath out, taking away perhaps some of those thoughts which don't help. Okay, so still breathing quite normally, being aware of your breath. I want you now to count 1 to 10 with each breath you take in. And I don't want you to change your breathing. Just be aware more about the breath in now. And as you do that, perhaps be aware of how your chest rises to take in that breath. With each breath that comes in, think of it as taking in new energy, new thoughts. new ways forward, and things that perhaps will help maintain happiness or the journey towards better happiness. As we take each breath in, just count 1 to 10. If you find that you've got to 16 or 17, don't worry. Just go back to number 1, start again. So by now, your eyes closed, but aware of the world around you. With your feet firmly touch the ground, hopefully in a place which is just turn the volume of those distractions around us down now. So all you can hear is perhaps some distant noises, the breath in my voice. So breathing normally, being aware of our breath. On you now, stop counting. Just become aware of where the breath is entering your body. That can be different for many people. For me, it's being aware of where the breath rises my chest. For others, it could be the entry into the nose, and the breath from the nose to the lungs. Just be aware where the breath is most central to you. With the distant noises in the background, that's all I want you to do now. Just think about where the breath is most central, coming inwards for you. And I'm going to do that for 3 or 4 minutes now. Okay. I'm going to go to the last part of this morning's meditation, where I just want you to listen to the noises you can hear around you in the background, perhaps. Perhaps think about what those noises are. In some cases, wondering what those noises are. Just breathing normally, just listening to our breath and those distant noises around us. Whilst we're listening to those noises of my voice, just think about how calmness will help you achieve progression. Just by remaining calm, we can focus our minds to the actions we know will better the situation. And hopefully give us happiness or better happiness. Just enjoy this beautiful day around us. Now to just lighten your eyelids. By that I mean let them start to open, let in some of the daylight. Start to move around a little bit in your chair. Perhaps take a sip of a drink. Give it a big stretch. Always help. If you'd like to put your cameras on, perhaps, if you feel comfortable to do that. If you don't feel comfortable, don't worry. So hopefully by doing this exercise, it's just turn that noise around us down a little bit, or in my case, help me listen to all the dogs barking up the road. And nothing's changed out there. It's all there ready for us still. But hopefully we're in a place which is ready to meet it now. And what I'd like you to think about just before I hand back to Kerry, is, and I'll turn this alarm off. That was good timing. Just before I hand back to Kerry to again just tell us what she'll be doing next week. I want you to think this week, hopefully, about the quicksand. And at times, if you do feel that something's trying to pull you in, sometimes the best action is to do nothing at all and just to sit there and think, okay, what action's going to be the most productive? Take a drink, perhaps meditate. That time, believe me, in my experience, it's helped me no end when I've done that. Rather than rushing into it and going, all right, I'm into it, what I find is by just sitting back and say, right, okay, cup of tea. Close my eyes and have a think. I seem to progress myself much more. Thank you for this morning. I'm going to hand back to Kerry now. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Darren. That was lovely. Really nice way to start the day. I'm feeling super calm. Almost so calm I've forgotten what we're doing next week. No, I'm joking. So yeah, so next week, if anyone didn't manage to make it last week, next week we'll do some more gentle chair yoga. I'm calling it chair yoga because it's something that maybe people can help people understand a little bit better. But really, what we're doing is just some very gentle movements that you can do seated in your chair. So it's something that you don't need to do just on a Monday morning together with us. There's some very gentle movements that you can do. You know, we all sit at our desk for quite a long time or in the car. And you know, these are gentle movements that you can bring in just to really help sort of ease your spine and wake up your body a little bit. And especially when we move with the breath, as Darren mentioned earlier, it can be really powerful. And it sounds so simple, but it's something that we're sort of forgetting how to do in this day and age. So we'll warm up the body a little bit with some chair yoga, and then we're going to develop the breathing technique that we did last week. So just really learning how to breathe with our full lung, and then we're going to experiment with lengthening the breath and just start to notice how that feels. And yeah, then we'll maybe do a short meditation at the end before we finish. So yeah, so just to let you know, as I mentioned at the start, we're recording these sessions and we're going to put them up. I've put the first two up on Byte, and I'll do the same with this one. It might be a day or two. They just take a while to download and upload, but I will get them on there, and I will post on Yammer, and I can send a message on this group as well when they're up there. So yeah, just want to say thanks again to Darren for a lovely session. And I wonder if anybody, if anybody has any questions for Darren on the meditation this morning, or anything they want to share before we close.
Yeah, perfectly happy to take some questions. And if you don't feel like you want to ask now, by all means, email me or call me during the week. I'm more than happy to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no questions is good questions in my book. But honestly, if you do need anything, just give me a call. And thank you for this morning.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.